Texas was a kind of a scary series this weekend. Texas softball took 2 of 3 from Arkansas. That was number 4 against number 7, I believe, and that was huge in the SEC. So that happened on Saturday. Props to Texas softball. They get 2 out of 3 from Arkansas, which is a great series win. And the Texas baseball team also got 2 out of 3 from Mississippi State. And this was a big-time series. We said this was, as Jim Schlossnagle described the Bulldogs, Omaha quality. Not stakes like Omaha, Nebraska, College World Series. And both teams are that kind of good. It was number 3 against number 4, third place and fourth place in the SEC. So on Friday, Jack, and weather was an issue Friday because they had the weather delay about an hour. It was chilly and cold, and the wind was blowing in. You knew it was going to be a pitcher's duel with the 2 Friday starters. And what can you say about Dylan Volantis? This sophomore climbed the hill and did his best Greg Swindell impression. You know what he's starting to remind me of, Jack? You remember probably as a major leaguer. I remember when he was a great college pitcher, Barry Zito. Remember Barry Zito?
Sure, yeah.
Big up over the top. But, man, he doesn't overpower you. He's like 92, 93. But, man, that Uncle Charlie, that left-handed ball coming, just awesome. Well, the sophomore was in control on a chilly night. He punched out 12, notched a career high. Got out of the first inning with 2 infield singles because so many little infield balls, that they chop into the ground on him. So hard to make hard contact. But Texas then scratched out 3 runs, a couple of big 2-out hits, and Sam Cozart closed the door Friday night for his 7th save. That guy's been a godsend in the bullpen, the freshman. So you take game 1, 3-1 behind your ace. Can I give you the numbers since Dylan Volantis moved to Friday night, Jack? Alabama was the first start. 6 innings, 12 Ks, 2 earned runs. Then at Vanderbilt on the road in Nashville, 6 innings, 11 Ks, 1 earned run, 1 walk. Friday night, 6 innings pitched, 12 Ks, no earned runs, 2 walks. By my count, that is 35 strikeouts and 3 runs allowed in 3 starts since moving to Friday.
I mean, he's been unhittable.
He's unreal.
And that breaking ball, it drops in from so high. It's like, what do you do?
Well, our friend Ty Harrington on our Talkin' Ball podcast, presented by the law office of David J. Lopez, has always said, just try to go do this. Get out batting a ball and have your buddy stand up on a ladder and drop it and see how often you can square it up. I mean, we've all thrown up a tennis ball and hit it with a bat, but you're only throwing it, this high when you're going to do that. Drop it from about 10 feet and then try to square that up. And how often you do? Well, now it's coming at you and it's boring down in on you. This ball comes from, he's up on the mound and he's 6'6", and then he comes up over the top. It's like that old pitching machine we used to have when I was a kid that would just fire the ball at you. But and then it's breaking. He is unbelievably great.
When he's on, he's gross, man.
Oh, man.
It's so good.
And hitters have very little chance against him, and you just have to hope. And because if he's dotting that because he's got the fastball that's low 90s, but since he's so tall and it comes over the top, it gets up on you because you're so concerned about the heavy breaker, the Uncle Charlie that drops in for righties, that drops in on your hands and on your foot. And then he's got that little cutter. And now he's working in a changeup. So he gives you a chance every Friday night, not just a chance, and the Longhorns win that 3-1 as they got those big 2-out hits. But then they dropped Saturday's game 7-4, and this one was frustrating. It was a 1-1 game into the 7th inning, and Ruger Riojas came out of the game after just 71 pitches. And that had a lot of people wondering, what the heck? Well, and then Mississippi State was able to get to the bullpen. Brett Crosland had a hit batter that really became an issue. There was a delay because of the challenge came from Mississippi State, and that led to an issue. And then, the rally was on, and the next thing you know, it's they score 4 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and it's 7-1. Longhorns tried to rally back, and they lose 7-4. But Mississippi State's a really good ball club. Jim Schlossnagle was asked after the game, why did he pull Riojas after just 71 pitches? And he said he felt good about the Crossland matchup and where they were in the lineup. And he did say, Jack, they want to take care of Rojas for the long haul. It's only early May. He needs to be his best. They thought they were in a good place at 1-1. Let's go to our pen, make it a pen. Obviously, you can't predict that when it happens. Didn't work out this time, but he said that, we need Ruger to be, strong late May into June, which, so they're like, okay, let's go to our young arm and Brett Crosland, and it didn't work out. Then yesterday's rubber game, another absolutely gorgeous day at the Dish. Jack, you were there about 4 hours as Mississippi State jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Luke Harris, I think he walked the first 3 guys and set up a big inning, and then there was some clutch 2-out hitting by the Bulldogs, and I thought it was pretty big for Luke to stem the tide and hold it to 5. But they left him in. And then you're looking, it's like second and third inning, and Luke Harrison's still out there, and it's 5-0. Well, they stuck with him. And he proceeds to deliver 4 shutout frames beyond the first inning uprising, the 5 runs. And I think Schloss had an instinct that on Sunday they felt like they'd get to the pitching of Mississippi State, and they did. The Longhorns rallied for 9 runs in the 3rd inning. And that inning began, how about this? This is what you look for on Sundays or anytime. Charity from the other side, right? How about 3 straight walks to start the 3rd inning? And it came at the bottom of the order. It was Preston Corville and then Maddox Mansour at the bottom of the order. Both walked. So that's your 8 and 9 hole hitter. Flip it around to the top. Aiden Robbins walked. And then Carson Tinney hit by a pitch. So 4 straight, free passes, essentially. That's how you set up a 9-run inning, because then the hits started coming. It was... you got a huge hit from the fabulous freshman Anthony Pack Jr. to break it open, to get it going. Then Adrian Rodriguez had a big hit, and then a run-scoring double. This was the biggest hit I thought of that frame, because it really got the crowd, and I'm sure for you, Jack, got you guys involved, because Temo Becerra, because a couple of singles got it going.
Right. And
then Temo said, hey, let me see if I can stretch this out. This was on ESPN2.
By about 6 inches, and this one is going to go towards the corner. Fielded out there with Mendoza in. Rodriguez holds. That's a double for Becerra, who is smoking hot. Texas now leads 6-5.
All right, so that gave them the lead 6-5 after they had punched them across. And then Casey Borba had a big hit, a double that put a couple more runs on the board, and then it wrapped up Aiden Robbins as they batted all the way around a couple times there. He had a single, and that rendered a 9-run uprising. 11-6 was the final. Got a little tough when it was 9-6, and the Texas bullpen, can you get this big out? And they did against one of the best hitters in Mississippi State, and the Longhorns get the dub. 11-6 final. They win the series. And, we'll get you their record and overall. But after the game, Jim Schlossnagle excited that Luke Harrison was able to hang in there and give him 5 innings after the rough first, and, got some production from that bottom of the order, which they've been looking for.
Yeah, I thought, first of all, Luke did a great.
Oh, my goodness.
Generations of Longhorns have been welcomed.
Sorry about that. I'm right in the middle of my man.
There's our athletic director.
Come on. Here we go.
First inning grand slam is not how you want to start the game, but what did you learn from your team as they dug themselves out of that final hole?
Yeah, I thought, first of all, Luke did a great job. Obviously, we gave all 5 of those runs were with 2 outs, right? So that was not the greatest start to the day. But he found himself and kept us in the ball game, and then they gave us some free bases in the 3rd inning, and then we put a bunch of good swings on them. So I thought we did a good job of kind of shrinking the strike zone, making Foster throw the ball in the zone, and then we got some swings off on some guys, and they're down a big pitcher, which affects their bullpen, and we felt like if we could just keep it close, and then we could maybe catch up. And luckily we pitched well enough, made enough plays. Obviously Crossland punching out Ace Reese is a really good player, getting that strikeout, and then we had first and second, nobody out with Cozart, 3-0 count, and he goes breaking ball, and then double play ball. That was really the game today.
Yeah, that was huge. And Brian O'Connor, the coach for Mississippi State, got thrown out because that Ace Reese is their All-American third baseman, and the bases were loaded. It was 9-6. It was tenuous, and questionable call in the inside corner. They gave it to him and rung him up, and that was a huge out. And Brian O'Connor got tossed. That was fun to watch. You don't see a manager get tossed very often anymore.
No, it's always fun. I pulled it up. I pulled up the stream on my phone to try and see.
It was close.
It was close.
And always remember that the angle's not dead behind home plate. It's a little off center. So but again,
right at the knees, probably a little inside. I can see why the. If I were a Mississippi State fan, if that call had come to a Texas hitter, I probably wouldn't have loved it. But if it's our guy, I'm going to say, hey, it was a good pitch. Way to locate it.
Hey,
got it right where you wanted it.
Hey, look, this is why you get home field, right? This is
probably a ball, but hey.
This is why you get home field.
It was like 1-2, so who cares?
I'm all for home field sometimes. That's the way it's going to work on occasion. But
as Mr. ABS, you're flip flopping on me here.
Well, if they were ABS, I would have challenged it.
Yeah, true.
That's why I am a fan of ABS, because they would have gotten the call right. College baseball doesn't have that yet, but I am a fan of ABS. But if that's what you're going to get, then that's the rule. But yes, in Major League Baseball, that would have been challenged, and we would have gotten to see it. And then, you wouldn't have had the in a 4-hour ball game, you wouldn't have had the dust up from the manager. How long did that take? And he ends up getting run out of the game because
he was on the field for a while.
Yeah, see, that's what ABS avoids. You get the call right, and we move on. But either way, Texas will take it because they win the series. And as we said, Georgia was playing Missouri this weekend, so Georgia came in first place, and they swept Missouri. So Georgia's now 18-6 overall in the conference. 18-6. And Georgia's going to win the SEC overall. They're 38-11. They've won 6 in a row. Texas will get Missouri at the end of the year, which is going to help them a lot because Missouri's the last place team, and they're terrible. Missouri is now 4-20 on the year in SEC play. So Texas gets that at the end. They've got Tennessee this weekend, who just had a rough series. They're 11-13. So Texas has 2 series left against teams that are under 500. One of them's the worst team in the conference. Meanwhile, while Texas went 2 out of 3, they're 15-8. They are 2.5 back of Georgia. Texas A&M dropped 2 out of 3 at home to Auburn, Jack. Auburn swept a doubleheader on Saturday. Texas was able to play Friday night because of the weather. They just had to wait an hour. College Station was not able to play. They had to rain it out. So they went doubleheader. And I think on Saturday, Auburn scored like 18 runs on the first game and then came back and beat Texas A&M 5-4. So they get the first 2. Aggies bounced back yesterday and won the final game, avoided a sweep. So Texas and Texas A&M are identical 15-8 with 2 series to go. But the Aggie series are tougher than the Longhorns. They have, I think, Ole Miss and Auburn left, whereas Texas has Tennessee in Knoxville this weekend. Georgia, again, I think Georgia's going to win the conference, and they'll be the 1 seed. Texas was the 1 seed last year in the SEC tournament. What did that end up meaning? Texas is feeling pretty good about where they are right now at 15-8. Mississippi State's 14-10. Auburn is 14-10. So those are your top 5 teams. And here's the week for Texas, Jack. They get UTSA tomorrow night. No, UTSA knocked Texas out last year in the regional, in the super regional. And you know what they are right now? I think they're 33-14, 34-14.
Yeah, good team.
UTSA's really good. And this will be a fun Tuesday. And then they go to Tennessee. So this is one of those weeks where, okay, you can really hit the accelerator coming off this top 10 win. I think Texas is up to number 2 in the RPI now. Behind UCLA with another top 10 series win. Longhorns had one, a couple weeks ago against Alabama. The Vanderbilt win on the road was huge, and now this one to get Mississippi State, who came in as a top 15 RPI team. So I think Texas will move up to 2-3 in the RPI, or I think they go up from 3 to 2, and with Georgia Tech right there. But it's nip and tuck. Longhorns this is one of those series, Jack, that puts you in a really, really good position, not just to host a top 16 seed, but one of those top 8 national seeds. I don't know, it locks you in. You can't collapse here, but you handle Missouri at the end of the year, which could be 3 wins. You just saw Georgia sweep Missouri, and that series is here. It'll be senior weekend with the last place team in town. This one in Knoxville, you get in there, get a win or 2, you're feeling great about where you are in the SEC and hosting a super regional.
Yeah, if they continue to take care of business, right? That's I think what it comes down to is, of course you can't collapse, but if you just play the baseball you've been playing, if you win series like you've been, got to go on the road here, but you should be able to win at least 2 of these games, right?
Quick note from Texas. Texas is 21-2 this year when Luke Harrison or Dylan Valantis start a game. Texas has won a series against a top 10 opponent with Carson Tinney going 0 for 11. Aiden Robbins had 1 extra base hit and no homers. Bottom of the order actually delivered this weekend.
Tamo Becerra 2 doubles yesterday.
Tamo was good this weekend. Casey Borba is starting to get it going again. They're getting some other guys. I mean, we mentioned Maddox Mansour and Corville at the bottom of the order. They're trying to find and piece it together at the bottom of the order, but that actually produced. And, you get out of a series win where, you lose the Saturday game, but your 2 big thumpers, Tinney and Robbins, didn't do much. And they did a good job neutralizing them. You still win that series, you'll take that. So the Horns get the win. Anthony Pack continues to be. He's going to be freshman of the year. All right, I mean, if it's not him, it's Sam Cozart.
I know the Aggies have a couple good freshmen.
Yeah, they do. Partita is really a good player. I mean, their shortstop and their third baseman and their right fielder. But come on, Anthony Pack's still leading the conference in hitting, right? If you just take SEC conference plays, I've been like 419.
I wouldn't be upset.
No, I mean, got the big hit in that uprising, the 9-run uprising. Guy continues to be in the middle of all kinds of good things for Texas. Anthony Pack Jr., Sam Cozart with his 7th and 8th save now into the weekend. So